Hi guys, hope you're doing well, and once again happy new year 2019.
Yes, and this is our first video of 2019, and a lot of you have asked for some reading tips. So here we are with our video for some reading tips and the guidance for you people to clear your IELTS and achieve the desired score.
So guys, we have prepared good amount of notes, and we
Yeah.
are excited to share with you our learnings. And first of all, let's talk about what IELTS reading is all about.
Yes, it's all about your ability to, to your understanding how well you understand the English language.
So this is one of the unusual module where the answers are already given to you. There are questions and you don't have to make the answers. They're already written and it's in front of you. You just have to know where the exact answer is hidden.
So guys, take it like your childhood English language, where we used to get a lot of comprehension passages and we used to go through the passage.
That was my favorite part in the exam.
And used to, so for me, what used to work was I used to go through the questions and then used to read the passage, and vice versa, whatever suits you. So you can do it accordingly, but trust me, it's interesting, and that is the one of the most scoring part, because I scored a 9 in reading and trust me, it's not difficult at all. It all comes with practice, and the more you practice, the more you become perfect in that.
So guys, in this video we are going to describe about what the IELTS test format is for the reading, and then we are going to share our tips. So the test format, it's 60 minutes of test and a total of 40 questions.
Yes.
Divided into 3 sections.
First section is basically based on the factual things. For example, the advertisement of a hotel or the sports event, something like that. And it's not that difficult. It's like one of the easiest section in the reading exam.
Because it's pretty easy to find the answers for this, and there'll be 2 to 3 paragraphs basically in the section 1. Section 2?
Section 2 is all about the instructions, and you may get true, false and not given, or you might get the flow chart or the diagram representation or the labeling of that. So
when we move from section 1 to section 2, it becomes a bit technical, but not that hard.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit about how machinery works, or how the stuff in the kitchen works, something like that. They are going to explain, and it will also consist of 1 to 2 paragraphs.
Yes, and the third section is the hardest one, but you don't need to be scared, because things are pretty much there only. You just have to be calm and patient, and you have to take that test, and that comprises only of one paragraph.
And here now we are talking more into the description. A lot of details will be mentioned about any subject. It can be science, it can be universe, it can be I don't know, botany, zoology, whatever. They I think they look at the complete, all the text everywhere, where they see, okay, this is the least interesting topic which anyone could have read, and they pick up that topic and put into the section 3.
But you know what? You don't need to think like that. You have to be a PhD holder in order to crack it. It's all about English. It's not about your biology or zoology knowledge. It's about your English knowledge.
So guys, coming to the next part, that is the band score. After how many bands you get, after how many scores you are putting as a correct. So for 9 bands, obviously you have to mark 39 to 40 questions as correct.
He means to say 39 to 40 means at 39 also, if you mark 39 questions as correct, then also you get a band 9, and if 40 questions are correct, then also band 9. And similarly, if I'll tell you for the 7 bands, which is actually the golden score number. So for 7 bands, you have to be somewhere at 33 to 34, because with every 2 questions
0.5
band will vary. Exactly.
Got it. So that is how you measure, but that doesn't matter, right? You
Yeah.
want all the questions to be correct.
Which is not at all difficult. You can do that.
Okay, next, how many types of questions will be there? So there will be total 14 type of questions which you can expect in IELTS reading.
Yeah, it's not like that all the 14 are going to come. It's all about that 14 types are there. There will be fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
There may be true, false, and not given. MCQs, that is multiple choice questions. Then you have the diagram labeling, or you have to give the heading to the paragraph, that is match the heading.
And for particularly for section 3, there can be, what's the idea the author is putting into this paragraph, describe the heading, describe the summary, some complex like that, where you need to show how good your understanding is in English.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that you have to be the master of vocabulary. It's just that you'll be having an option for sure, so you have to choose among those. So
Right.
you don't need to worry about, that you have to be a master of that. It's not like that, but you just have to go with the flow.
So this was all about the format of IELTS English.
Yes.
Now we are coming to the meat part, the cream part, right? Which is the tips.
Yes, exactly.
Let's
So
start with the
the
first tip.
tips that worked for me, the first and the foremost was the time management. Whenever I used to practice my papers, I always timed myself. That was, I used to put 1 hour of timer, and then I used to move ahead with that.
Mhm.
Then comes the second tip, which is related to it, which is the division of the time.
Yeah, very
The
important.
division of the time is very important in order to be accurate in the exam. Just because all 3 passages are not of the same manner,
Right.
and third section being the most
Hardest.
difficult,
Yes.
so you have to divide the time accordingly. What I used to do was, I used to give 12 to 15 minutes to passage number 1, then 12 to 15 minutes depending on the difficulty to section number 2, and for section number 3 I used to keep 20 minutes. And then you will be thinking that, okay, this is just 50 minutes, what about the rest of the 10?
Yes.
So the rest of the 10 I used to spend on rechecking my question paper.
So
Yeah.
why cross-checking is so important, Gagan? Why you want to put 8 to 10 minutes in the cross-checking?
It is all about, whenever you are attempting a paper and you are in the flow, you sometimes make spelling mistakes or the grammar mistakes. So you have to be very accurate on the grammar part. For the plurals and the singulars, you have to keep in mind that whatever is plural, it has to be written in plural form, and whatever is in singular, you have to go with the singular form. And
This has happened with me because you put all your energy and your efforts into finding the correct answer, but what if they're asking about a singular or plural, and you don't put the s or es at the end, something like that,
Yes.
this is a grammatical mistake.
it is taken as an incorrect
It's
answer.
incorrect. All your efforts are gone. So you have
Yes.
to be sure that you put at least 8 to 10 minutes, like Gagan said in her case,
Yeah.
into rechecking or cross-checking all the questions.
Yeah, and same as with the spellings, you need to be very accurate on spellings. Spelling
Yeah.
should be correct.
Coming to the next step, that is the first go through the questions before heading to the passage.
Yes, so this is something which is my favorite thing to do, which I'm doing
Okay, that makes
from
sense,
the very
right?
first day. This actually helps because you don't need to understand the passage. First of all, you have to understand that you don't need to understand the passage. You just have to get
find
the
the
gist
right
of it.
question,
Exactly. And moreover, the best part about this exam is that the questions are in the order of the paragraphs in the passage. So
Right.
you don't need to worry about that, okay, the answer for question number 4 is going to be before question number 3. It's not like that.
It'll be after question number 3.
Exactly.
So you can skip those lines, right? Where you find the answer for question number 3, jump back to next lines where you can find the answer for question number 4.
Yes. And always keep your pen or pencil handy and mark the important keywords, because
Yes.
that will help you to relate both the things in your question, and then when you are going through the passage, so you can just see that what are the keywords, the synonyms which are matching, and you can just find the answer in no time.
So this is the next step, that is develop your vocabulary. Once you
Yes.
develop your vocabulary, maybe there's a different word which is used in a passage, and in the question they have used a different word having the same meaning,
Because I
like synonym.
think IELTS examiners like paraphrasing a lot everywhere, in writing, in
Right.
listening, in reading. So here also most of the things are paraphrased. So you need to understand the words in order to do that. You have to be, I'm not saying you need to master the vocabulary, but you should have the synonyms
about,
for it.
yeah.
Exactly what should be the actual synonym for that.
All right. The next one is about developing your skill for the speed of the reading.
Yeah, so this is called practicing it, I'll say, because it's not like you have to go through a boring newspaper every day. You can go through your favorite novel, favorite magazine. I read Cosmopolitan a lot because I love fashion, and Cosmopolitan has like so damn good words that, you know, it just holds you and you can just read it. So something like that, just develop an interest. If you don't have interest in reading, just bring up that interest
by
and read.
selecting your favorite topic and read about it, right?
So,
and with that, there's another another tip which we'd like to discuss here is master the technique of skimming and scanning.
yeah, so what basically skimming and scanning is, you just have to go through the lines of the passage quickly. You don't need to read everything, but it's just that have a glance at whatever is there on the paper. Just see the question and just
Mark
scan
the
it
keywords.
through your eyes.
Yeah.
Exactly, scan it through your eyes and see for the keywords where they are, and then you will be finding answer quickly.
Alright, the next tip I'd like to share here is that when you're practicing your IELTS reading, you're in your own study room or in a controlled environment where, you know, it'll be all silence, you're concentrating on the on reading the passage and marking all the answers. But actually, when you are at the exam hall taking the exam, there'll be a big clock in front of you ticking, and you know, nervousness will be there. A lot of people will be sitting around
That's
you,
what
and
he means to say.
you become nervous, right?
There.
And you tend to become nervous. So my idea was that I went to a coffee shop, nearby coffee shop. There I practiced it because there'll be a lot of distraction. There'll be a lot of sound. I don't know. That kind of worked for me, just to be into that zone.
That is not always the case, but sometimes that happens. Even in my third exam, like third attempt, I screwed up because there was a college right behind, and the woofers there were like, you know, my
they were on
desk
full
was
volume,
shaking,
and there was a fest right next to the
Exactly.
exam hall. And when we talked to them, like, you know, there's huge like loud noise and sounds
But guys,
going
just
on.
because we used to practice a CCD, in that attempt also I scored a 9 readings, so I think
So it worked, right?
yeah, it worked.
So that's a tip. It's all about, you know, how well your concentration power is.
And
So
I think that was one of my best attempts, just because except writing, I scored highest in everything. Like 9 listening, 9 reading, 7.5 in speaking. I never scored a 7.5 in speaking after and before that.
Alright guys, the next step is attempt all the questions because there's no negative marking, so use your luck here.
Yeah,
don't
take a
leave
chance.
don't
Take a
leave any
chance.
question blank.
Yeah, and related to the answers, fill the answer sheet as you go, because you don't get any extra time like we do in listening.
Right.
So it's better that you keep on writing the answers on the main answer sheet.
That way you don't screw up the order as well. So whatever the question you are looking at, you're putting the answer there as well.
Yeah,
so.
and it take a lot of time to transfer the answers from the question to the answer sheet.
Yeah.
So it's better that you use the answer sheet.
So guys, in MCQs, make sure you cross the wrong questions. That way you can
Wrong options.
Sorry. That way you can reach out to the right option, and it'll be easy for you to select between
Yeah,
the
so this technique works because whenever you are eliminating the wrong options, so you come closer to the right options, so then you can decide that out of two, KBC 50-50,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So then the thing which used to bug me a lot
Yeah.
during practicing reading was the true, false, and not given. And I believe that it is the most difficult part, because most of the times what mistake I used to make was I used to assume things,
Right.
and eventually I realized that I'm not supposed to do that.
You need to go by facts.
Exactly, whatever
need
is
to assume.
written, you have to just go by that. You have to think it is true.
Yeah.
You know,
Let's
because
give it-
if that says this information is true, that means it is true. If that says false, you don't have to, you know, you need to understand the difference between the same information and the similar information. If I say,
Mhm.
for instance, maple syrup is always made in Canada, and if I say maple syrup is mainly made in Canada, you cannot say that mainly made in Canada is equivalent to
Always made in Canada.
exactly, because both the things are not similar. So you don't have to assume anything, first of all.
So if it's not mentioned in the paragraph, you have to say not given, not
Yes.
false.
And
You have to say
secondly,
not
you
given.
have to understand the difference. This is not yes, no, and not given. This is true, false, and not
Not
given.
given.
Yes, no, and not given asks for the opinion, but true, false, and not given, it is based out of facts.
Right.
So you have to go by the facts. Okay.
So these are the
And-
confusing ones, right? So make
Yes.
sure you practice about that. So
Yes,
I think-
and don't false assume the keywords. Then don't take one word for the other. And secondly, how to find out that what is not given. It's very simple. If something you cannot find in the passage, that means it's not given. Just because, like I said, don't assume anything. So if some information is not provided, then definitely it is not given. So don't be scared. Go ahead and just mark it as not given.
alright guys, so these were all tips and tricks. We are done, right?
Yeah, we are pretty
And-
much done.
So it's snowing outside, that's why it's pretty cold here.
Yeah, and he's wearing a sock.
Alright. Once again, just to finish it, read newspaper, read your favorite magazine, build a habit
Whatever
of
you
reading,
want to read, but
build
just
a habit
build
of reading,
Yeah.
crack IELTS reading. It's not difficult. You have all the answers there in your question paper, so it's not
Yeah,
difficult.
and if you have any particular concern or query related to any of the sections where you are facing problem, please comment it in the comment box, and we will definitely reply to it, or if possible we will make a video for it if needed.
Alright guys, please subscribe and support us.
Yes.
Thank you so
and
much for
thank
watching
you so
this video.
much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.